book of wisdom that we read today, in chapter 2, both of our readings, sometimes we get a little bit of one part and a little bit of another, and it's kind of confusing to figure out what's happening because they're chopped up. But in chapter 2 of wisdom, the unrighteous are making a claim. And before today's reading, they're saying things like, who's gone down to Hades and who's come back? Or it looks like the whole world came out of, we don't know what the origins are. And if you follow the logic of the beginning of chapter 2 of wisdom, what they're really professing is like a materialist conception of the world. Like matter is all there is. There's nothing beyond this life. We don't know what is left beyond our immediate senses. And so it's kind of like, take what you can when you can. It's kind of like, the modern world, where we think that everything is just materialism, there's nothing of the spirit, there's no life after death. And because they have that thinking at the beginning of chapter 2, as we continue to read chapter 2, today's reading, we have the unrighteous versus the just man. Someone who believes that there's something beyond this world, that there's a world of spirit that accompanies my actions. So the just man lives rightly, and the unrighteous, when they see that, he becomes a thorn in their side. He's the one who, without saying, preaches without preaching. A similar instance happened in my life. In my 20s, I was working at a factory. This is between jobs to become a priest and a friar. And I was just a lay person. I was working at a factory, and there were other men there. And I just tried to do my job well. I always came in on time. I took my break when I should have, 15 minutes, and then I went back to work, took a half-hour lunch, and then went back to work. And some of the other men were like coming in late, a half-hour, punching an hour late, so we wanted to be approved the whole, work day. Some guys went off and got Dunkin' Donuts, they came back and shared with everyone. They all took breaks whenever they felt like it. And they would just thought it was like a party. Particularly on a Friday, you would stop work at 2, even though the day didn't end until 4. Does it sound familiar? So anyway, I decided that I wasn't going to be influenced by what they were doing. So I just always did my job. And what happened? They said that I was causing grief for them. They said that I was preaching to them, even though I never said anything. And I became like a thorn in their side and said, hey, Andy, you're making us look bad. Come on over here. I was like, how am I making you look bad? I'm just doing what I'm supposed to do. That's exactly the situation we find ourselves as Christians in the world. We just do what we're supposed to be doing. We love God, we give Him praise and thanks. We go to Mass on Sundays or during the week. And this causes a rift between people. Why do you do that? Who are you anyway? Just go along with the flow, man. Come on. But we can't. So today's reading of wisdom is used as a template for the gospel. We celebrate today the Friday, Lent. It's 2 weeks before Good Friday, when our Lord Jesus offers His life for our salvation. And Jesus becomes, a thorn in the side of the Pharisees and the Sanhedrin. He's doing what He's supposed to do. He's praying, He's loving others, He's giving worship to His Father, and He's trying to make us all realize what we're supposed to be doing as human beings and as lovers of God. And this causes conflict. Of course, added on to that is the fact that Jesus says that He's the Son of God, and so that's kind of blasphemous anyway. And so now there's a whole maelstrom of things happening in our life of Jesus as we begin to enter into Holy Week, the Sunday after Mass. The important thing to remember is that we need to pray for courage, for fortitude. What's courage? An easy definition. To do the right thing, regardless of the consequences. I'm going to choose to do the right thing. I'm going to choose to do the loving thing. I'm going to choose to do the Christian thing. I'm going to choose to do what God wants me to do, regardless of the consequences. And we look at Jesus. He chose to love us to the end. Look at the stations of the cross. He chose to do the right thing. He chose to simply follow the Father's will, regardless of the consequences. And he knew the consequences were his own death. So he took his death and transformed it into an act of love, literally a prayer back to the Father for our salvation. And because of that, we're here today. We celebrate the Eucharist, the transforming love of suffering, of death, of anguish, of doing the right thing to the end, so that Jesus can give us his own self. We receive his body, blood, soul, and divinity in this Eucharist, so that he empowers us to do the right thing, regardless of the consequences.